Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jessica Grujon. I am the Assistant Director of Admissions at Stockton University. I am a proud alum. I graduated from Stockton in 2009 with my Bachelor of Arts in Communication Studies. I loved Stockton so much and the students and the community that I decided I wanted to pursue a career in higher education. So I immediately began working at Stockton as an advisor in the Office of Graduate Studies, and now I'm in undergraduate admissions. So 11 years as a professional, almost 4.5 years as a student. So I've been at Stockton almost half of my life. And that just shows you how much, we really do value our school, our mission, and all of you for applying and for being admitted and your interest in being a part of this session this afternoon. It is my honor and privilege to invite our colleagues to introduce themselves. They're actually also former alums. So first, I'd like to start off with introducing Mr. Enrico DeRoy. He is our Assistant Director of Admissions, specifically transfer admissions. Enrico, are you able to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello, Jessica. Yes. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? I hope you guys are staying safe, and I hope you guys are enjoying your day. My name is Enrico DeRoy. I am the Assistant Director of Admissions, as Jessica stated. I am also the transfer coordinator for Stockton University. I'm basically in charge of students that transfer in from community colleges or other four-year colleges. Now, remember, some of you might be, transfer students and international students at the same time. So you get the pleasure of dealing with both myself and Jessica throughout the entire admissions process, which is gratifying because we have streamlined the entire process for you, and we are here to answer any questions for you. But if you are a transfer student and you're wondering, how does my credits from West transfer over, or how does my credits from my community college transfer over? I am here to answer all of those transfer related questions for you now and in the future. So it's my pleasure to be part of this global engagement virtual event, and I look forward to answering questions along the way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Enrico. I don't know if I actually specified, but one of my specialties as the Assistant Director of Admissions is being the International Admissions Advisor. So I'm one of the DSOs at Stockton. So I issue visas, I assist with the visa acquisition process. I've been doing it for about 6 years now, both for the graduate, master's and doctoral students and undergraduate students. So I'm really excited to host all of you today, this afternoon. I'd like to also introduce now my colleague, Mr. Yebin Fang. Yi, are you there?
Yes, hi, how are you everyone? So grateful that you get the opportunity to join this section, and I'm hosting this section with my colleague Jessica and Enrico and my also coworker here, Natalia, to give you the opportunity of telling you guys what we do here in the Office of Global Engagement. So I am also a proud Stockton alumni. I graduated with my bachelor degree in computer science in 2015. Just like Jessica, as soon as complete my degree at Stockton, I joined the Stockton big family. I love working there, and it's been a while that I, as a team member of this office, and I really like the working environment over there. And I studied in Venezuela in South America for high school, and after that, I come to the U.S. I attended a community college in ACCC. And then I transferred to Stockton for my 4-year degree. Next, I'm going to introduce you my coworker, Natalia Manger, and she would share a little bit more about herself in a very soon.
Thank you, Yi. I appreciate it. Hello, everybody. My name is Natalia Manger. I'm the Study Abroad Advisor at Stockton University. Much like Jessica and Yebin, I guess we are a very proud alum family. I myself am an alumni of Stockton University. I've actually am a two-time alum. I've graduated with a bachelor's in international business, and then I completed my MBA at Stockton. I myself focus mostly on advising Stockton University students who want to spend any period of time of their academic career at Stockton studying abroad. So majority of my work focuses on advising students and how they are able to take their academic requirements in order to complete their degrees and complete them while they're abroad for either a semester or summer or a short-term program. Students come to me if they want to complete an internship abroad, if they want to conduct research. Sometimes students come to me if they want to go to graduate school abroad or if they want to teach English abroad. So there's a lot of different options for why students come to me, and I'm always happy to advise. In terms of context, so I was born and raised in Eastern Europe, so I have a lot of experience with travel and study and living abroad. I moved to the United States about 16 years ago, just by the virtue of, again, study abroad. I did a gap year after high school. 16 years later, I'm still here advocating the same thing for everybody else. So please feel free to leave any comments or questions in the Q&A session as we go. And I'm going to pass the baton back to Yi to discuss more in depth about what the Global Engagement Office actually does for Stockton University students.
Yi, if I can, everybody, this is Jessica Grujon. I also would like to give the opportunity to our student admissions ambassadors who are joining us today, who are also study abroad alums. Please, Ashley or Jillian, if you'd like.
Sure, welcome.
Hi everyone, this is Jillian. I'm a senior health science major with a minor in dance, and last spring, in spring 2019, I studied abroad in Costa Rica for a whole semester. Natalia helped me throughout the whole process, and it was a really great experience that I highly recommend everybody to do.
Hello, my name is Ashley Cody. I'm a junior here at Stockton. I'm a biology major with a concentration in pre-professional studies. I also have a double minor in chemistry and childhood studies. I was lucky enough to do a 10-day study trip in Greece and Cyprus in December 2018. Like Jillian said, it was absolutely breathtaking. And I definitely recommend going at least on a 10-day study trip, if not a whole semester.
Thank you, Jillian and Ashley, for your introduction. And so here in the Office of Global Engagement, we do quite a few things. So we work closely with Jessica in the admissions office to welcome our international student and scholar to study here or do their research at Stockton. That's my priority. And my colleague, she would work with any Stockton student to go abroad for their education abroad opportunity. And then next, we do have build international partnership with other university overseas where our Stockton student can go abroad for an exchange opportunity where they get to pay a low Stockton tuition and fee and get to go abroad and study for their degree. And then next, we have professional development, not only for our faculty, but also students where they could get to know more on the international education field. Then next, my director, Dr. Joe, she worked closely with our faculty on curriculum internalization and global learning, where she would share a lot of her research or resources with the faculty on how to enrich their curriculum for our Stockton students. And on the side, you can see activity that we host throughout the year. We have the Globalization Lecture Series. Faculty will host lecture to our Stockton student. We have International Education Week once every year. We also have once every week, we have a world language table where our international student or just Stockton student who speak more than one language get together and share or teach each other a new language. And on the bottom corner over here, you see that we have many scholarship opportunity for our student who wants to do a study abroad. So those are the scholarship opportunities that they could have as a Stockton student. And next, I am going to talk a little bit more about being an international student at Stockton. So as for this spring semester, we have students from all around the world representing 16 countries. And the very next thing that you need to do after you accepting your admissions offer from our admissions office is to reach out to us, and we will issue you I-20, is a non-immigrant status document for you to apply for your F1 visa. And soon after that, once you have your I-20 and your F1 visa, then you are on your way to your next great adventure here at Stockton. You're gonna start your brand new program and get to know your other Stockton friends here. And something that I wanted to highlight over here is, as an international student, you also can work here in the United States for a limit of time, whether you could apply for CPT or OPT, which is something that I can explain it to you, or you can find more information in our website. And until I see you in the fall semester, we're probably gonna spend a lot more time via Zoom to get to know each other. Next, I would gonna hand over to my colleague Natalia to talk a little bit more about study abroad opportunity.
Okay, so study abroad, a very, very big part of any student's academic life. A great opportunity to, first of all, get out of your comfort zone and go see what the big world has to offer. And also to really take your education out of its context and see how your particular field is approached in a foreign land, right? So much like Jillian has just stated, she went abroad, she experienced her curriculum and her degree in Costa Rica. She got to really have a different side, a different perspective into what it is she's studying. And through that new lens, a student gets to better understand themselves, right? So a lot of the times when we go abroad, we think we're going to learn more about others, and we do. But more often than not, we learn more about ourselves and who we are. And also you get to really put a really deep context into what it is you're studying, what it means in the global environment and in the local environment, and really have a very interesting approach to either internships or volunteer work, and get out of your kind of usual bubble and kind of see what is it that you can do with your degree outside of the walls of Stockton. So here we have basically the fundamentals, right? So any student can go abroad, right? No matter what it is you're studying, no matter your academic level, whether you're transferring in or if you're a freshman, you can and you should go abroad. When you go abroad, you can study, you can intern, you can volunteer, you can do research, you can do any one of those things or any combination of those things. You can go abroad for a full semester, so an academic semester like fall and spring, or you can go abroad for a summer session, which is typically the same in duration as a summer session at Stockton, right? 4 to 5 weeks. Or for students who don't want to commit to a full semester abroad, maybe you've never been abroad before, maybe you just don't feel secure about it, maybe you just want to get your feet wet, you can go abroad for a short period of time, like 1 or 2 weeks. you can study anything you want abroad. If you can study it at Stockton, you can study it abroad, right? So any major, whether you are nursing or pre-physical therapy or engineering or psychology or criminal justice, you can and you should go abroad. Freshmen cannot go abroad because freshman students are typically kind of getting used to the academic environment of a university. So you're establishing your GPA, you're making friends, you're trying to kind of cement yourself in at home. But as soon as you are admitted, as soon as you register in your first freshman semester, you can start planning your semester abroad. And you can go abroad as soon as your first semester sophomore year. Sophomores, juniors, seniors, graduate students, you can and you should go abroad, and we can start planning your abroad semester or any period of time that you want to spend there as soon as you are a Stockton University student. In terms of funds, so Stockton University is one of the most liberal institutions in terms of supporting our students in funding your education abroad. Stockton offers you a lot of funding, right? So not only are you able to use your federal funding, so your federal grants, your loans, your any kind of scholarships that you are applying for. But you can also use your Stockton University scholarships. And that is very, very generous of Stockton because majority of the institutions do not permit institutional aid to travel abroad. And not only that, we also offer our students very, very wide availability of Stockton University scholarships aimed specifically at study abroad. And I'm going to ask, once I'm finished, I'm going to ask Jillian and Ashley to provide a little bit of context as to how it is that they went abroad and how it is they funded it, just in a few words. And then a lot of the times when a student comes to me, they ask me, where can I go abroad? Anywhere. You can go abroad to any country that is available to US citizens to travel to. So think of safety, think of security. Are American citizens able to travel there? If they are, the very high likelihood is that you can study abroad there as well. And then aside of that, just a little bit of context. So majority of our students, of course, want to study abroad in Spain or Italy or the UK or other British Isles, Greece, Germany, right? But some students go abroad to South America, Central America, the African continent, Southeast Asia, like Japan or China or Taiwan. So you can think of it, you can study there. So Jillian, why don't you give us a little bit of context as to why you decided to go to Costa Rica and how you funded your education abroad, because I guess these are some of the most frequently asked questions that we get from students.
So I funded my study abroad trip by using my scholarship. So I had a dean's scholarship from my freshman year. And then I applied for the Office of Global Engagement scholarship. So it was a really easy process. I just submitted an essay through the office, and Natalia is one of the people that checks it. And I was awarded, I believe, $1,500 because it was $1,000 from the Office of Global Engagement and $500 from a Stockton Foundation scholarship. So in the end, it ended up being just around the same amount of money that I would pay for a normal semester at Stockton, but I actually was able to go abroad. And with that, I also was able to transfer over 21 credits from Costa Rica into Stockton, and it all counted towards my degree. And I'm also health science, so I know it's kind of like science majors to go abroad, but it was definitely possible because I had a lot of electives and cognates to fill in my curriculum. So just a matter of like planning with your preceptor, planning it with Natalia to get a good experience and have it all count and get a really good, fulfilling cultural, but also academic experience abroad.
Thank you so much, Jillian. And can you tell us if you have not only studied abroad, but also volunteered or had an internship?
Oh yeah, so through my provider, which was AIFS, they provided volunteer opportunities for us. So during my time abroad, I volunteered in the elementary school, which was 1 block or 2 blocks away from my homestay. I helped with the English teachers in 3rd and 5th grade. So even though I didn't know Spanish that well, I was able to teach them like the basic pronouns and basic sentence structure. And they also helped me learn some basic Spanish. And then also I volunteered in a children's hospital. So I was able to feed babies like the bottles or like toddlers with their food. Just kind of accompany the children while their parents are away. And it's just a good experience in both ends, in the school and the hospital. So it was very fulfilling, and definitely I highly recommend doing both volunteering and going to class too.
And Jillian, what would you say to a student who says, I can't speak Spanish, so I don't think I can study abroad?
Well, my answer would be, well, I didn't know Spanish at all before I went abroad. I never took a Spanish class at school. The only thing I did was use the app Duolingo. I did like a couple of lessons like on my own during like winter break, and it was totally possible. I survived. My program had 2 intensive Spanish classes, so knowing that it might be kind of scary, but everyone also is in the same boat as you, or there are others in the same boat as you that maybe don't know Spanish, but it definitely should not be a barrier to going abroad, because it's definitely possible, and I'm very thankful I was able to learn some basic Spanish while I was there. So you can do it.
And do you think that your semester abroad is going to enrich your graduate school and your professional experiences as well once you're done with your academic career?
Oh, for sure. I definitely think that going abroad teaches you more than just the classes in the classroom. You learn how to travel, you learn how to, when I say get out of your comfort zone, I really mean using the skills that you learned in terms of confidence and asking questions around to adjust to a new environment. And I think adjusting to a new environment is really important following your college career, because you're going to be put in professional environments and different cultural environments. So having that experience prior to being in the real world, as they would say, it's really valuable.
Thank you, Jillian. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes, yes. Ashley.
Hello. Like I said, my name. Hello. Like I said, my name is Ashley. I kind of did a different way of financing than Jillian did. I had the opportunity. It was presented to me my sophomore year from a professor. His name is David Roselle. And it was for first-time travelers. I've never left the country ever before. And for this grant, it was ONAS's foundation grant, and it actually paid for my trip completely. So all I had to do was go get a passport on my own. Other than that, everything else was funded by this foundation for everyone who was first-time travelers. So actually, this trip was just a group of us that has never left the country before. So it was that perspective that we all can share. While we were there, we talked at the university, Aristotle University in Thessaloniki, Greece. And while we were there, we spoke to different English classes about like diversity in the United States, how it is like being students in a university, a liberal arts university. And we just like compared like the different learning styles that they had there and here as well. We also met with students outside to gain a better perspective of the town. But while I was in Greece, I also had the opportunity to go to an art gallery by one of the students that is actually from Stockton University that traveled over there for a whole semester. She had the opportunity to work with different artists over there, so she had her own art gallery for that. A lot. But finance-wise, it was all covered, so I didn't have to worry about anything. I did have to take finals early to go over there, but other than that, it really didn't interrupt anything to do with school. And like Jillian said, she was health science, I'm biology. I never thought I would study abroad, let alone go to Greece or Cyprus, where there is a language barrier, but most of them did speak English. It was just mind-blowing to ever think about how another country had different learning styles, and how they're supposed to learn English. So to be an English major, you have to be fluent in English. I liked how that was completely different from over here. It's mostly optional, while over there it was more of like a requirement.
And Ashley, thank you so much for your perspective. What is your major?
I'm a biology major.
Okay, and did you have any prior exposure to Greek language or Hellenic studies?
I actually did not. Growing up, I only learned Spanish in schools. Greek wasn't really a language that was offered, especially where I'm from. So I did not have that exposure to it. But once traveling there, it just broadened my horizons of what I do actually want to know about other countries as well.
Okay, and so do you feel, so between yourself and Ashley, I'm sorry, between yourself and Jillian, you have studied abroad as part of a group, whereas Jillian went abroad individually. Do you feel that studying abroad under the supervision of the faculty with other Stockton University students made your transition into international experience easier? And did you feel more supported and, saw yourself as someone who can do this again, maybe independently or otherwise?
Speaking from my experience, like being able to go to Greece and Cyprus with a group of, I think it was 3 or 4 of us, having someone around our same age that is experiencing the same things we're experiencing, so they've never left the country either, besides the exception of that one student with that art gallery showing. Us all trying to figure out this new country together, I felt was a bit easier and less overwhelming when it came to that aspect. But there was points when they allowed us, our faculty member, David Roselle, allowed us to go out to explore where we were staying at with other students and with ourselves from the university. I felt like that gave us a little bit more independence. And from this experience, I want to travel more. So going back to even Greece, making those connections, I still talk to some of them to this day. So personally, I did like going in with a group. So I did have like a bit of comfort still with me, but I will love to go back for another opportunity, maybe doing something that Jillian did, while like just going on my own to gain more independence.
Great, thank you. And what would you say to someone who says, I want to study abroad in Greece, but I don't speak Greek?
I would say always take the opportunity. Like I mentioned before, I didn't know anything about the Greek language at all. And going over there, you notice that even though Greek is their first language in speaking, most of all of them know English as well. And they might not be able to pick up as quickly, but if you speak slowly, they totally understand you. So even though it is a language barrier, they will understand you, and they actually will help like teach you some Greek terms as well. So I say just always try something. You're never going to be left alone. There's always someone there that would know.
Thank you. And what are you looking to do after you leave Stockton?
My hopes after I leave Stockton is to continue my education in med school, so that I can become a physician.
Excellent. So would you say that a global education experience for a pre-med student is something that is recommended, that is something that has value, that is something that you would see you recommending to new incoming Stockton Ospreys?
Absolutely. Going there, even though I did learn about, I'm sorry, even though I learned about different cultures and different learning styles, I've also learned about the healthcare. So even walking around, like me asking questions and walking around the town, you see that their health system is not exactly the same as ours. And just speaking to them and talking to them about like healthcare and different opportunities they have there, they did mention how a physician here, if you go over there, is completely different. Like the one huge thing is like the income of a physician here. It's completely different from over there. The income there is mostly like a student's salary, pretty much, and their healthcare is not as great as ours. So certain opportunities we have here is not the same in other countries. So it did open my eyes to that. We always hear about it in books and like articles and everything like that, saying like different healthcares are different in different countries, but actually being there to see it and to see why it's different based on like the scenery and what is offered, it does open your eyes and as well. Once I become a physician, I hope to travel and to help out different countries like this. So just to bring awareness. So it definitely did open my eyes in the healthcare field, especially as a student in general.
Awesome. Well, maybe you'll do Doctors Without Borders or Peace Corps.
Maybe.
That would be wonderful. Thank you, Ashley. I really appreciate your insight.
Of course. Thank you.
Yi, would you like to say anything further?
Yes, I would like to share our webpage with you where you could get a lot more information with us. And I believe, can you still see this screen
Yes.
here? All right, perfect. So for our international student, once you get admitted, you could go to the admitted student section right here, where you will follow the instruction to apply for your non-immigrant status document, where you're gonna show your funding to apply for your I-20. So we have a very detailed itemized list over here that you would need to follow. Provide all this document to our admission team soon after you provided your acceptance deposit to the admissions office. So these are great resources and information for you to have. And then we also have the information for our orientation here as well that you can see as a tentative date for the next semester. On the right-hand side over here, we have a pre-departure section where we'll answer or provide more information on how to apply for your F1 visa over here after you receive your I-20, how to pay your CVS fee, how to complete your online non-immigrant status application, and more at the end. Now, very quickly, I wanted to show this to you. Of course, we have the education abroad section here that is currently under construction. Please check back often for the most recent information. Let's see, we have the contact us section here. You can always reach out to us via email, phone number, or if you want to talk to someone specifically in the office, please feel free to click on the more information section where you could actually make an appointment with either myself or my colleague Natalia to discuss a little bit more about your future plan to attend Stockton as an international student, or you wanted to go abroad as a Stockton student. We are more than happy to share all those information with you at any time. So, and also we have our social media over here on the account. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram for some student story. or any scholarship opportunity that we have that could expire very soon. And I want you to take advantage of those funding opportunity to
Hey,
make the dream come true.
Hey, you. So
Yeah.
while you, this is Enrico DeRoy. While you guys, while you're on the topic of scholarships,
Yes.
just briefly, can you just scroll to the scholarship section? I'm just going to go over a couple of things. Just, you know, affordability is a huge component for international student or any student for that matter. Okay, so the first thing I would like to, you can stop right there. So we're gonna go over the freshman awards for a second. So this is what I would like to say. The cost for Stockton University for an international student, and this is just tuition and fees, is around $21,000 per year, okay? We charge you as an out-of-state student, you know, similar to a student that's living out of the state of New Jersey. So that'll be the tuition and fees. Now, room and board, of course, differs from the housing location that you choose, okay? And our website has great option. It kind of highlights how much each housing unit is. So definitely make yourself familiar with our housing part of the website to find out which housing opportunities and how much it costs. Also, it depends on if you get a meal plan or not, okay? So, some housing, like for example, Atlantic City housing, it doesn't require you to get a meal plan, right? But the housing is a little bit more expensive, right? So, you know, you might get a room, you know, a single room in Atlantic City for about $9,300 per year, and then you don't have to get the meal plan. So that you can add the $21,000 to the $9,000 per year for Atlantic City housing, which brings you roughly around $30,000 per year without a meal plan. Or you can use housing in the Galloway campus, which will allow you certain housing, like for example, Housing One doesn't allow you, you know, has a kitchen inside of it. So you can cook or bring food, store food inside of it as well. So you don't have to get the meal plan because the kitchens are inside the apartments. Two things I want to say. We have, you know, you can, you know, do virtual tours of each housing opportunity online. And then you can also check out the prices for each housing unit. And then what you can do is navigate to our, you know, our bill estimator and basically just plug away, you know, which each housing you want, Housing One, Housing Two, whichever housing you think that you might see yourself at, and that will give you an estimate of your bill. For this, and then this, that does not include any, you know, you know, health insurance and all of those other things acquired. But if we're just going based on tuition and fees and just housing without any meal plan or anything like that, it could run anywhere between $28,000, you know, to $31,000 per year. Now you're saying, okay, how can I afford that? The first thing is scholarships, right? Because you guys do not qualify for any need-based grants, which is financial aid, but we do have scholarships available for international students. The scholarships that are listed on the screen right here are, you guys are all eligible for, okay? And then at the bottom of the page, it says International Student Scholarship. You can actually combine that scholarship with, let's say, a Provost Scholarship or a Presidential Scholarship based on your SAT scores, your GPA, etc. So that is currently for fall 2020. This is where our International Student Scholarship stands. Okay, you know, we're trying to, you know, expand that hopefully in the future, but currently the International Student Scholarship is about $2,000 per year. As long as you have a GPA of over 3.0, you can actually qualify for that scholarship. Now remember, in order to qualify for that scholarship, you must also stay on campus, okay? So you must dorm on campus. We do have off-campus housing available for those students, but then you will be deemed ineligible for the international scholarship. So let's say you get a provost scholarship. If you're a freshman, you get a provost scholarship, you have over 3.5, 1310 on the SAT scores, and then you will automatically get the $2,000 international scholarship. That is $11,000 for you right then and there. Now, I do advise you that if you are interested in additional scholarships, additional grants, please contact our admissions office, myself or Jessica, and we can see, we have resources for outside scholarships that we can connect you with. And then we can also see which other scholarships, might be available, outside scholarships, institutional emergency scholarships and things of that nature. So please, if financial is your main deciding factor, or you're having trouble, or whatever the case may be, especially with this pandemic, which is a global pandemic, please reach out to us so that we can at least try to attempt to assist you as best as we can. We're not making any promises, but at least you can communicate with us what your status is, and then we can go from there.
I would like to just say before we leave, how appreciative I am for all of you, our panelists. Thank you so much, Yi. Thank you so much, Enrico and Natalia, for getting together and gathering all of this information for this session this afternoon. I appreciate our future Ospreys who took the time to log into this webinar this afternoon. Have a great afternoon and be safe out there, everyone.